This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. Okay, I picked up my guitar this morning. I thought, why don't we do just a quick video, just for some of you guys, maybe you've not built too many presets. I know I get messages quite often from people that are new to the gear. And so, yeah, if you liked the tone you heard in the intro, I was basically using this preset here. So we're going to try and dial in what I would consider a really nice kind of singing, sustaining lead tone. And I think one really good option for this is possibly one that you might not really expect, but it's the Kali Lonestar Channel 2. Okay, and then cab wise, I think it makes sense to pair this with the 4x12 Kali V30. I really like this particular mic, and position wise we're going to take this away from the cone a little bit, and then, well, I'll come back to this in a second. I guess crucially for me, we're going to need some sort of lubrication to the tone, which is kind of what I like to think of dual delay or delayed settings in general as. And the dual delay is one of my favorite blocks for this. We set our right feedback and left feedback up about the same. Set our mix between 20, well, maybe a bit lower than 20 and 23%. Any higher than that, you start to get a little bit too much of it, I think. And if I was playing live, I would reduce this down, and I wouldn't have the modulation on. So just off of the bat, stock setting. So I think we're already in some pretty good territory there, right? So that you can see it's just the stock setting. So maybe I'll just even leave that and rename that stock lead. So what are we getting there? Okay, so then what I'm going to do is kind of dial in for A, let's call this like ideal. And so we're talking here about a Mesa Boogie Mark style amplifier, really. And there are some elements here. So in this snapshot 3, we've got the stock settings is on normal, which is more of a black faced style structure. Thick is more plexi on the Lonestar, and thicker is more kind of Mesa Mark. So let's go for ideal, and let's maybe change this via snapshot to be thick. So although I'm liking the scoopiness of it, so maybe we'll just leave that. Okay, right, but one thing that we can do, if we're going to up the gain, so I'm thinking that we want a little bit more gain than this, is take this bass down, because that's going to be a little bit on the woofy side. So, snapshots, let's bring this down to maybe like 3.5. I'm using single coils. If you're using humbuckers, you take that down a bit further. Now what do we get? Okay, so I think that's again quite touch responsive. I'm enjoying that. Right. Okay, and then snapshot 2, what if we wanted to up the gain? And let's just try a couple of ideas. No, I've got 2 ideas here. Either we go for some more kind of amp gain, which I feel like the Lonestar does this quite nicely. As we up the gain, probably take down the bass even more. We've got 2 So again, I feel like that normal shape is kind of less Mesa-ish, and then thicker. But quite simple stuff, like even with the Mesa Boogie. Choose the right cab and you're kind of onto a winner. Let's just call this one burning. So this is kind of like a more... What if on our ideal, so one other way to get kind of some nice tones out of this sort of stuff One is to use the Dynacomp as sort of a boost. This is something I do quite a lot. So I could faff around with more stuff for ages, but the only other thing I'm sort of feeling, because that's got some elements of that kind of glassiness that I quite like in a lead tone. What I might do would be to, as the gain goes up, start to reduce the high cut. So again, we can control this with a snapshot, but what I'm listening for, do you hear there's like the fizziness? Which is accentuated by more gain. But you hear, essentially, that's doing some really awesome things. Now, other things that you want to do is when the gain gets higher like that, especially if you're sat anywhere near a screen, you want to turn on your noise gate and do that with a snapshot. When things are less gainy and without that compressor, I would leave that noise gate off, basically. And if I'm going to be trying to use this sort of thing live, I'm going to be more likely to bring this high cut down further, because in a live situation, using in-ear monitors and stuff like that is where you're going to really notice the spiky stuff. At home in a mix, with studio monitors, you're going to maybe want to keep those highs in a bit more. But yeah, another thing I might do might be to add on a glitz reverb. I really like this reverb for many reasons, but one of the things that it kind of does is sort of add like a bloom. But I think that's a really, really good starting point. So check that out. I'll save that here now. I'll drop that up into the Gumroad folder. £5 to get access to every Helix preset that I make, basically. So hopefully that's fairly good value. But build along, see how you get on, and I hope you enjoy those tones. Catch you in another video soon.